Margot Sisson has spoken out after Below Deck Down Under aired Luke Jones's sexual misconduct scenes that happened while she was passed out.
No, open it.
Stop. We can't, bro. We can't do that.
We can't do it.
We can't do that.
She's sitting there.
Thankfully, Luke was stopped from assaulting or hurting Margot because producers intervened, and Chief Stew Aesha Scott had her back. After Aesha learned what Luke did via producers, she went to Captain Jason Chambers, who woke Luke up and escorted him off the boat to a hotel.
There was boundaries crossed, there was indecency, and you went into someone else's cabin without consent.
Luke was fired the next day as Margot learned the events surrounding the night after she went to bed. Taking to her Instagram stories today, Margot kicked off a series of slides, starting with her gratitude for the Chief Stew. "I'd like to start by saying a big thank you to Aesha Scott and express the love I have for her. The way she recognized the vulnerability of the situation I was in and her courageous intervention on my behalf was both heroic and so admirable," she wrote. Thanking the producers expressed her forever gratitude to Aesha. Margot also gave Captain Jason a huge thank you for handling the situation immediately and stating that these actions were not tolerated on his crew. The Stew admitted not all captains would have acted the way he did. "Thank you for repeatedly making me feel safe and supported. I wish every captain were just like you," Margot shared in part of her message to him. The Stew also took time to thank some of her other colleagues for being there for her during this time. Margot gave a special shout-out to Chef Serena Macerouf for helping her when she felt guilty for getting drunk. The chef reminded her that women should be able to do that if they want without getting assaulted. Serena's words hit home with Margot, making her feel better, just like the chef's comfort food. "I am lucky to have you in my life and you have become such a role model to me. I love you so much," the Stew expressed in part of her thank you note. Harry Van Vliet also got a special message from Margot, who thanked him for simply being him. Margot expressed how happy watching their interactions made her. Deckhand Adam Kodra received a thank you from Margot too. The Stew revealed that Adam admitted if he knew what Luke was doing, he would have protected her. While Below Deck Down Under hasn't shown their interaction, they are like brother and sister. Margot also expressed how sorry she was that Adam's softer side isn't being shown on the show before saying that she didn't know what was going on with him and Stew Laura Bilescon. "I was completely oblivious to what was going on between him and Laura, and I wish I could go back and be there for him more. Neither of us deserved this. I love you, Adam," she spilled. Aside from thanking her crew members, Margot spoke out on sexual assault. The first thing Margot wanted people to know was how grateful she was for all the messages that had come flooding in for her following the episodes. Margot promised that she's reading all of them because they are so important to her. "To all the women who have been affected by sexual assault in any way, shape, or form, my heart breaks for you. Please know that you are not alone, and the blame does not belong on your shoulders," Margot expressed. Although she knew the episode would be triggering, Margot felt it was too important to address because assault happens far too much. Margot knows she was lucky, while many others are not so lucky. The Stew encourages anyone who has been assaulted to know they don't have to feel shame or ridicule. Margot explained a scenario where things would have played out differently, like if the rest of the crew felt like Laura did. Thankfully, that was not the case, but Margot had a reminder for anyone reading her IG stories. "It breaks my heart to know that this has happened to so many of you reading this. Your emotions are valid, nobody is allowed to blame you, and you can't blame yourself. Your body is your body, your space is your space, your bed is your bed, and nobody is allowed to enter that bubble without consent," she wrote. Margot revealed she's done a lot of therapy since the Luke incident, including giving up alcohol. She encouraged Below Deck Down Under viewers to hang in there with the crew for the rest of the season and know that she has grown since then. There was also a reminder that there's help out here for anyone dealing with issues related to sexual assault or alcohol. Margot ended the message by reminding her followers they are never alone. Luke and Laura were both fired for their indefensible behavior on Below Deck Down Under. As Monsters and critics previously reported, Laura issued an apology of sorts to Margot and Adam, while Luke has yet to speak out. Please like, share and subscribe for more Below Deck news and updates.